In this episode, One Piece creator Eiichiro Oda says that the Netflix live-action adaptation of One Piece has entered the final stages. A lot of manga are ending or taking a break, tensions rise between arts workers Japan and AI, and much, much more. Behold, it's me, the CEO of SAO, the resident PGS Transformers expert, as proclaimed by Robert Burnett, or as most people know me, King Tannic. Hello and welcome to all my fellow weebs, otakus, imagination connoisseurs, and all of the members of the Post-Geek singularity to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the non-anime news show where we talk about the current goings-on in the anime and manga industry with our very uneducated opinions. Special thanks to Robert Burnett, all the great folks at the Burnett Network, and of course you, our viewers, because if it weren't for you guys, this show would not be possible. All right, so there was quite a bit of news this week, and first of all, hello, welcome to the show. I'm Israel. Nice to meet you. You know, if you've never been here, if you've never joined this show, because that intro, I try to work on it and make it very refined, but you know, you might just look at it and be like, oh, this is just like some news thing with like no personality. No, hello, it's me. I have no charisma, but I try to pretend like I do. You know, okay, so let me just say this. Okay, so last week I said that we were going to be talking about Star Wars Visions in this episode. So two things happened. One, I didn't have time to watch it. And two, it kind of worked out because nobody talked about it. And I was like, oh, no one cares about this season of Star Wars Visions. Or I'm sorry, this volume of Star Wars Visions. So that kind of worked out for me. Another thing, I'm not really caught up on like this anime season at all. I'll be honest, this whole anime season, like Winter, has just been a whole failure for me. Okay, luckily we're only, I think Saturday is the halfway point of the anime season. So I'm going to try to like catch up on a lot of stuff. I've completely scrapped the Winter 2023 anime season review, and there's reasons for that, and I'm going to do a video on my own channel for that, which, by the way, you can check out my own channel, King Tannic, where I talk about anime stuff in a different way, but, you know, I still talk about anime, so it's the same content as over here. And yeah, how have I been? Thanks for asking. I've been pretty good. How have you been? Did you do something new with your hair? You look nice. Oh, is that a new shade of blush mascara? Wow. Yo, are those the new Nikes? I don't know. Okay, sorry. See, what did I say? I don't have charisma. Okay, so getting right into the news. There was quite a bit of news this week, so we have no time to spare. I almost said a manga. A light novel, as reincarnated as a reincarnated aristocrat. I will use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. I had to read that because the title is so utterly garbage. But that has been announced this past week that it is getting an anime. It's scheduled for a 2024 release. We did get a nice poster. I looked at it and I was like, yo, this might be kind of fire. Then I loaded up the trailer and the animation looks nothing like the poster. But I mean, you know, I was happy for a second. But something that did get me a little bit more back into it, once I had that good then bad, something that brought me kind of back into the good was hearing the people that were involved in it. So the studio that's making this is Studio Mother, who, one, that's a really funny name. I saw that. And it's like the way they capitalize it, like MAPPA is in all caps, like, because like, you know, you try to honor how they punctuate their names. And so it's like in lowercase, you have studio, and then in all caps, Mother. And I was like, bro, that's because usually you hear it and you're just like, oh yeah, Studio Mother. And then you read it and you're like, Studio Mother. It's like, it's really fun. Anyways, so they, in case you don't know who Studio Mother is, they've done things like Arifureta, Heavenly Delusion, which is currently airing right now, or Tengoku Daimakyo, as most people will know it. Because actually, it's really funny, and we'll talk about this as we get to the rankings a bit later. Everybody only refers to Heavenly Delusion as Tengoku Daimakyo, which is the Japanese name, which is really interesting because it has an English name, but no one ever refers to it like that. But any other things that Studio Mother has done is Laid Back Camp, and probably besides Heavenly Delusion, the most recent thing is More Than a Married Couple, But Not Lovers, which released back in fall of 2022, which I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy it all that much. It was fine. I just thought that the main girl was just kind of very overbearing and annoying. But that's just me. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people, she was like in their top like 3 waifus of the year. So, you know, what do I know? Once again, Israel back with the worst anime takes on YouTube. Hey, how you doing? Like I said, this is scheduled for a 2024 release, and then they announced who the director will be, which is Tako Kato, who also, like we just mentioned, directed More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers. So, I mean, it's not that my problem with More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers is not that it wasn't a bad. It wasn't a badly directed show. Like, I mean, I think that the directing was just kind of fine. Like, it did the job. It was watchable. You could tell what was going on. Great. Director, you did great. You did fine. You didn't make it a worse experience for me, so we're good there. I also thought that More Than Married Couple Not Lovers was also very colorful, and so that gives me hope that I like to see one of the good things about anime, and we hear it all the time as like one of the criticisms of, like, especially in like the bigger blockbusters in Western culture right now in Hollywood, is that like everything is so gray. And one of the great things about anime is how colorful everything is. And so More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers was a very colorful anime, so I'm hoping to see some more of that here as well. And then Kujira Yunemi will compose the score, and they did Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. Now, something that I felt was not important when I was taking notes, but I think it might be now, and I don't remember the person's name, but the series composition is being done by the person who did Kaguya-sama, Love is War, which means when you say series composition, it's basically just like they're not even writing anything. They're just taking the manga and turning it into an anime, basically. They're just figuring out the way to one-to-one readapt it, because we know this industry by now. They don't change anything in their adaptations. They never adapt. They just, it's a one-to-one. It's great. And so honestly, those people being involved gives me some form of confidence that maybe it won't be awful. And then I saw the poster, but then I looked into like what the reviews of the original light novel were, and I was like, oh. But giving credit to the people who made the light novel was written by Miraijin A, and the artist's name was Jimmy. That's it, Jimmy, with all lowercase, just Jimmy. And then they also gave a little synopsis of the show. After 35 years of perfectly ordinary life, a run-of-the-mill businessman suddenly drops dead, only to be reborn in another world. Now he must live as Ars Luvent, scion of a minor noble family and wielder of a fabulous skill, appraisal, the power to perceive the strengths and abilities of others at a glance. He'll need it too, because there are plenty of problems to solve in the Lovent family territory. Ars only has one choice: recruit the most talented individuals his skill can find and raise up to new heights in his brand new world. Ba-ba-bum. You know, it's an isekai. I was like, how does this sound to me? I was like, does this sound good? Does it sound bad? You know what it sounds like? It sounds like an isekai, which is exactly, you know, like, I feel like that should be like its own rating. You know, it's like, it's not good, it's not bad, it's an isekai. And then you're like, oh, I know exactly what you mean. That's what it sounds like. Maybe that first trailer was just uploaded really poorly. We've seen that before, where anime trailers are uploaded in like 240p, and then like the YouTube thing just says it's in 1080. But then when you actually watch the anime, it's in higher quality. We've seen that a couple times. So maybe that's the case here, because hearing the people that are involved and seeing the poster does give me some form of hope, but also seeing how the light novel was received, maybe not. It seems like it was kind of middies, but hey, maybe I'll be that one guy, considering I have the worst anime takes on YouTube. Maybe I will be that one guy who actually enjoys the show. So that'll be interesting to see. Okay. So this anime that aired back in winter of 2013, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Tamako Market. It's now 10 years old. So it's having its 10th anniversary celebration all year long. They released a visual drawn by the character designer Yukiko Horiguchi, which I thought was very cute. And I haven't seen this show. Like I always try to make this very clear in every episode of the Otaku Experience, in case anyone's new. I'm more knowledgeable about anime than probably your average anime fan, in the sense that like your casual anime fan who watches anime but doesn't like go into the industry or doesn't like look into all that stuff. I'm probably more knowledgeable about things than they are, simply because I look into it. But at the same time, I'm still relatively new to the anime scene, right? My anime list thing doesn't even have 200 shows yet. So, but that's because I drop a lot. Like if I didn't drop a bunch of shows, it'd probably be there. But you know what I mean? So I'm nowhere near like, you know, Giguk or the Anime Man in terms of like how many shows I have, you know what I mean? So there's tons of shows that I still would love to watch. And I'll be honest, this show, I'm kind of glad this 10th anniversary came up, because I it was the first time I ever heard about it. It was made by my favorite anime studio, which is Kyoto Animation, which is still recovering from the Arson Fire. Was it a couple years ago or more than that now? Gosh, I think it was 2019. That's like 4 years ago now. Gosh, man. But at least they're recovering still, which is good. But love Kyoto Animation. They did like Clan Out of One Act Play. The most recent thing they did, I believe, or at least the most major recent thing they did was Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S, which was season 2 of Dragon Maid, which aired in 2021, which was great. They've also did things like K-On! I believe they did Shunibyo, and things like that. They're just a great studio. I love them. And yeah. And then, so they basically said with this Tamako Market situation, the 10th anniversary, is that they are doing special theatrical screenings of the series and the film on June 2nd. So, which is really interesting. So there was a sequel film in 2014 that followed the series, like almost like an epilogue or a finale, if you will. And they're going to be doing the series and the movie. You'd think that maybe they would just do like the movie or just a couple episodes of the series, you know, like put a couple episodes together, leave all the credits in, don't do anything at all. The worst viewing experience possible, like Demon Slayer did, and call that a movie. But no, they're just going to release. So, I mean, with anime length, you know, it's like what, 23 minutes per episode. And so, you know, it's about little over a 4-hour experience plus the movie, probably a good like 6 to 7 hours in the theater. And so that's happening June 2nd in select Japanese locations. And they gave a little bit of a synopsis for those of us who maybe have never heard of this before. So Tamako is just a normal young girl whose family has been making mochi for generations. As her birthday approaches, she happens to meet a talking bird who claims to be a royal court attendant looking for a bride for his master. After the encounter, Dara the bird decides to stay around her and becomes a part of Tamako's life and the neighborhood that she lives in. This just sounds cute to me. And, you know, maybe if this were any other studio that I didn't know of, I'd be like, maybe not. But with Kyoto Animation, I just know that like they pick their projects very selectively. They always know like, okay, is this like the most emotional thing ever? Okay, great. Animated. Go. A stat. Everybody on there. And like the animation quality in Kyoto stuff, it's always high tier. Like we always talk about, not always. I mean, if I say always, it makes it sound like a really negative show. But, you know, we talk about every now and then that, you know, we've seen a dip in animation quality in anime, and that's just simply because of how much anime is being made. You know, we see it every season where you open up the new thing, and of course there's like the top, you know, 20 to 30 shows that people are interested in watching. But underneath that, there's like a good other 30 shows, and then there's probably a good 10 that are carrying over from the previous season. And then there are going to be shows that don't air seasonally that just drop on a service. And so we're at this point now where it's like in any given anime season, you're looking at a good 60 to 70 shows that are airing. I mean, some shows, like I said, just drop, but to follow me for a second, let's just, okay, for lack of a better term, 60 to 70 shows that are airing in the same 3-month period. That is a lot of anime. And when you look at the amount of studios that are doing it and the amount of manpower, they simply can't keep up, which is why AI has become such a dangerous thing, specifically in the anime industry. I mean, we're talking about it with the writer's strike and possible actors and director's strike happening later this year. But with the animation industry, this is like a thing. Like this is about to start happening, which is why, and we'll talk about this a little bit later with actors, but we talked about it a little bit last week with artists, that Japanese artists are like, hey, whoa, this is a threat. We see it. Stop it now before it gets out of hand, because this will escalate really fast, because now that this tool is being introduced, Japan will show no signs of slowing down in their anime industry, and they will just keep churning this stuff out, even with AI if they have to, which is really scarifying. I almost said terrifying and scared at the same time. I did say it. I didn't almost say it. I did say it. It's scarifying. There, a new term coined by me. But yeah, I mean, it's just really scary. I just don't like that reality. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Tamako Market. Its 10th anniversary is this year. It sounds pretty good. I will try to make time to check it out. But hey, I'm behind on everything else in my life, so why not throw on something else? Okay. Now getting to one of the, I think it's the title topic of this episode. the One Piece live action series that they're doing with Netflix. Now, we've talked about this a few times before. I believe it was the first topic we ever did on the Otaku Experience, like in the first episode, which was really fun. Gosh, that was a while back. That was back in January. Man, we've been doing this for a while. This is episode 14, bro. Okay, so, but we've been talking about it for a while, and obviously there was footage and stuff that came out back in 2022 and things like that. And so Eiichiro Oda is... who is the creator of One Piece and is still working on the original One Piece right now, because it has, I wouldn't say it has no signs of stopping anytime soon, but they actually are probably in the next like 2 years, we probably won't have One Piece anymore. It'll probably be over. So I got to hurry up and finish reading it. But he was talking about One Piece, the live action show, in this special message that he and Netflix released. And it says this: I've been working with Tomorrow Studios and Netflix for quite some time now. Even though they understand each of the characters, we obviously came from different cultures. So when it comes to entertainment, we have different codes, skill sets, and aims. Sometimes it could be frustrating for both sides. It feels like we're all trying to get to the same place, so how come we're not on the same wavelength? There was even a time when I thought, is a foreign production even possible? Now, this might seem like it's coming out of nowhere, but we've been hard at work this entire time. And now each and every entity involved is working in sync. We're finally here. Considering my expected lifespan, I believe this is the last chance to bring One Piece to the entire world. If I were going to do it, I want to be able to supervise things while I'm still active. That's why I agreed to the live action adaptation of One Piece back in 2016. Since then, Netflix has committed enormous resources to the production. It was announced that the show will launch in 2023, but they've promised that we won't launch until I'm satisfied. The entire cast and crew spanning various countries are brimming with love for One Piece. They're burning with passion, and I reminded everyone involved that this should be fun. We're in the final process right now of finishing all 8 episodes. We'll be setting sail very soon. Eiichiro Oda. What a nice guy. That's all I gotta say. What a genuine dude. And I love, and a lot of the articles that I use for the Otaku Experience, you'll see like different headlines, like some saying like One Piece in the final few episodes. And then some will be like One Piece creators not on the same page, ? Trying to start like drama. And then the other one says like One Piece will not be released until Oda is satisfied. And so it's like interesting to see how people pick out these things. But I mean, it's awesome to me to hear this because, I mean, we saw how things turned out with Last of Us, with Neil Druckmann involved. And I mean, I guess some people didn't like Last of Us, but that's okay. I thought it was great. Not as good as the games, but I still thought it was pretty solid. And then we saw even with the Mario movie where the creator of Mario was super involved. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I'm sure you guys are spamming it in the chat. But I forgot his name, and he was very involved with the Mario movie, and that's coming to great success. That's past $1.1 billion now, and it'll probably hit 1.2 like later this weekend, which is great. And we'll actually be talking about the box office of Mario here in a little bit. And so this message just gave me, honestly, like a giant breath of fresh air and hope. Like oftentimes in almost every episode for like 8 weeks straight of the Otaku Experience, people would ask me, are you excited for the One Piece live action? And I would reply with the same thing. Honestly, no, because Netflix has just scarred me too much with their freaking anime stuff and their anime adaptations. And we've seen Hollywood attempt just live action anime in general. It's just not turned out all that great. I think the best thing is probably Alita Battle Angel, but was that anime or was that like based off of like a manga? I don't remember, but and even that, I didn't really like all that much. So they're basically like 0 for 0 for me, or 0 for however many they did. I'm not good with those types of analogies. All I'll say is that this does bode well. And I think that this actually did make me a little more confident. Speaking of the episodes, we did get a reported leak from the Twitter user. It's a One Piece news Twitter user, One Piece Defender. And so he basically, or they, I don't know if it's a he or she, but they have been, doing like One Piece news and stuff like that on their Twitter feed for a while now. And they reportedly have gotten, information that the rest of us don't have and aren't privy to. And so basically, here's what their Twitter says. One Piece live action series episodes and titles duration. Episode 1 will be called Romance Dawn, and it will be an hour and 9 minutes. Episode 2 will be An Old Friend of Mine, and it will be an hour and 4 minutes. Episode 3, Tell No Tales, will be 56 minutes. Episode 4, A Frog in the Well, and there's no, they say there's an unknown amount of time that it will be. Episode 5, All Races in 1C, which will be 58 minutes. Episode 6, Tangerine Grove, which will be an hour and 4 minutes. Episode 7, Crewmates, which will be 56 minutes. Episode 8, Grand Line, will be an hour and 6 minutes. And then they said some other stuff. New info, Nakama will be translated to crewmate in the series. Trailer will be out during July, and there's a small chance that it releases earlier. The total budget of the show reaches $100 million. Zoro will use 2 actual swords, and the third one will be CGI. And then the Zoro versus Mihawk scene is beautiful. And Fishman, Avatar, question mark. And then they said Nami, she knows how to fight and gets good fight scenes. Okay, I don't know what like that last little part meant, but I'm assuming the stuff with like Zoro and things like that are referring to like characters that I just haven't met yet in One Piece. But the other stuff here, I think what's interesting is it'll be interesting to see the name of the episodes, like if those are right. Because the episode length, like they could like release the show and they'll just be like, oh yeah, but it was like a few months out. They still had time to, take stuff out or put stuff back in based on reactions. And so what I told you was right at the time, but it changed. So they always kind of have this way out of this when you're in that scooping game. But it'll be interesting to see the names of the episodes, if those are the same. We'll have to remember to try to go back and look at this when the show actually drops. But they are saying that the trailer will be out during July, and there's a small chance that'll be out earlier, which makes sense to me because I don't know if this is official or not, but I believe it's an August release or somewhere around there. So it's going to be like late summer, early fall. And since it's a series, it makes sense that it would, the trailers would come out, about 2 to 3 months out before that to really get that hype going on Netflix. And so I'm excited for the One Piece live action now. I will officially say it. I am now excited simply because of that speech Oda made. And it just looks, it sounds like if he's happy, or if he's not going to release it until he's happy, then I have a feeling I'll be happy because I like One Piece. A lot of people love One Piece. There's a reason why it's one of the most famous manga and anime of all time. And I'm now, consider me looking forward to it. Moving on to the movie news of the week, we have some box office updates, including one of our favorite anime films of all time, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, it's not anime. And Israel, I know what you're thinking. Israel, that joke is not funny. It was never funny, but we pretended it was funny the first time. It's definitely not funny now because you've said it like 4 weeks in a row. I still think it's funny. Okay, so obviously, if you're new, Nintendo is a Japanese brand, so I kind of view this as anime adjacent, so I like to talk about it. So Mario is doing very well. I don't know what you want me to say. So it's at $507 million domestic, $654.8 million internationally, leading it to a $1.17 billion worldwide gross. Yeah. I don't have it here, but I believe that it's now the number 5 or number 4 anime, or not anime, but animated movie of all time worldwide box office. And so that's interesting. I would like to see it hopefully like surpass maybe like the first Frozen and get into like that number 3 spot, but we'll see if it can do it. I mean, Guardians is in theaters now, and there's really no competition, I believe, until Fast and Furious, which is on my birthday next week. So that's going to be super interesting. Speaking of an actual anime film, though, we have Suzume, which is still my favorite movie of the year. And that is now, like I predicted last week, which was that it should hit around $10 million domestically before it leaves its Western run. It is now at $10.3 million domestic, with a $309 million international haul, leading it to a $319.6 million worldwide box office, which is actually a little bit different than what I thought it'd be. I thought it would be on the track to make, around 325 by the end of the month because it's leaving Japanese theaters by the end of the month. So I thought that they would make like a really strong marketing push for that. It seems like everybody's like, no, we saw it like 3 times already. We'll wait till it comes out on digital, which makes sense. I mean, it would be like a $6 million difference, but hopefully, and I think it definitely will, because it needs less than $400,000 to do it. It will get to $320 million worldwide. And it seems like that might be where it stays, 320, 321, maybe 322. But this is roughly about where we're going to see Suzume dip off. And you can count that. We'll talk about that next week if there's any change there. Then something that we haven't been talking about, but suddenly made headlines this week was Detective Conan. So Detective Conan, everybody's talking about the MCU and James Bond as these really long franchises, but no one ever wants to bring up that Detective Conan is now in its 26th film. What? And only in Japan, it has made 76.4 US dollars, if we convert it to US dollars. Doing that in yen is about 10 billion yen, or a little bit over. And it's the first Detective Conan film to ever do that. It's only been released in Japan, and it's already almost made $100 million. That's insane. That's great. Congrats, Detective Conan. I don't watch Detective Conan. I don't think many of you do. But yeah, Detective Conan, one of the world's flagmark animated franchises, and no signs of slowing down, man. Still breaking records. All right, then another thing that happened, another headline, another record broken. The first Slam Dunk is now the 10th the 10th highest grossing anime film in Japan of all time. And so now it's made roughly almost 14 billion yen. It probably has by like when this episode airs. I filmed these ahead of time. But as of now, it's at 13.9 billion yen, or roughly $103.5 million. And that puts it at number 10, pushing out Jujutsu Kaisen 0 at 13.8 billion yen, or $103 million. And then I'll just show you what the top 9 are above that, just so you know what it's like going up against. So at number 1, obviously, is Demon Slayer Mugen Train at 40.4 billion yen, or $301 million. These are only Japanese grosses, in case you were thinking, that actually made close to $500 million, Israel. I know, this is just Japan. Spirited Away did, at number 2, did 31.6 billion yen, or $236 million. Your Name did 25.1 billion yen, or $187 million. Princess Mononoke did 20.1 billion yen, or $150 million. One Piece Red did 19.7 billion yen, or $147 million. How's Moving Castle at number 6 did 19.6 billion yen, right behind One Piece, or $146 million. Ponyo did, which is actually, I believe it was this week, had a re-release. Did you go see it? Let me know. Ponyo at number 7 is at 15.5 billion yen, or $115 million. Suzume, which is probably where it's going to end off here at the number 8 spot, at 14.6 billion yen, or $109 million. And at number 9 would be Weathering with You, which is at 14.2 billion yen, or $106 million. And of course, first Slam Dunk right underneath that with 13.9 billion, or $103.5 million. And so congratulations to the first Slam Dunk for continuing to, break records. And I look forward to your American release in the summer. And then our last little bit of movie news for this week is the Black Clover movie. It got delayed earlier. It should have been out by now because it was supposed to come out in April, I believe. It got delayed to June 16th. And so that's going to be coming out then, which I believe is that Spider-Verse is first week of June. Transformers is the week after that. Is this going up against... What is this going up against? Is this going up against The Flash? I forget. Okay, it's fine. But this is releasing on Netflix, so it's not like it's going to the box office anyway, so it doesn't have to worry about that. But Black Clover is getting a Japanese fan premiere about 2 to 3 weeks ahead of schedule. It's May 28th, June 16th. That's it's about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe. I don't know. It's late. I'm tired. No math. I'm not that tired. I feel fine. But so they're doing a very limited premiere. It's 200 fans only. And so I assume those sold out fairly quickly. And then the main release, of course, is June 16th in Japanese theaters and Netflix everywhere else in the world on the same day. And for those of you guys that forgot what the movie is about, or I guess not even what the movie's about, this is a synopsis of the show. They did re-release the synopsis of the show. In case you've never heard of Black Clover and you want to try to binge all 170, 180 episodes before the movie comes out in a little over a month. In a world where magic is everything, or sorry, let me pull my Rob out. In a world where magic is everything, Asta and Yuno are both found abandoned at a church on the same day. While Yuno is gifted with exceptional magical powers, Asta is the only one in this world without any. At the age of 15, both receive grimoires, magic books that amplify their holder's magic. Asta is a rare grimoire of anti-magic that negates and repels his opponent's spells. Being opposite but good rivals, Yuno and Asta are ready for the hardest of challenges to achieve their common dream to be the Wizard King. Giving up is never an option. It's a great anime. I really like it. I'm a little bit behind, but I have enough time, and it's not too many episodes that'll keep me from catching up. But it's great animation at times because Parrot decided to give all their freaking resources to Boruto, which yeah, but but Black Clover is the infinitely better show, and I'm looking very forward to this movie, and I'm excited to see how it looks because I mean they delayed it. I mean, of course there was like COVID going into it, but they also delayed it, to make sure it looked nice. So hopefully it looks really nice. All right, heading on over to the manga news, we got a ton of crap to get through. It's basically just the same announcement over and over. So we're going to do like a little bit of a lightning round on these, okay? So starting with The Vampire Dies in No Time, the manga has extended the hiatus to indefinitely. So the official manga Twitter announced earlier this week that the manga is extending the hiatus for a while due to the author's poor health. So hopefully we hope that the author does get better. The manga was already in a hiatus from March 30th to April 27th earlier this year, and it was expected to return on May 11th, which obviously that is not going to be the case anymore. The manga has already taken several breaks over the course of its run due to Itaru Bonoki, that's the author, due to his health throughout the course of the run of the manga. And so obviously we hope it's nothing too serious or anything like that. We hope that he does get better and that the manga can come back. Because even though I don't read the manga and I didn't watch the anime that was based on the manga, I still hope that, the author gets better. Mainly for his own sake, but also, so everybody else, so that way he can continue doing what he loves. Okay. Then the Orient manga, which was a really bad anime that aired. The first cour was in winter of last year, and then the second cour was in summer of last year. I heard it was awful. Did I watch an episode or did I not? I can't even remember. If I did, that shows how bad it was. Okay. So, in Kodansha's Besatsu Shonen magazine, they announced that Orient will enter its final battle on June 9th. And then they gave a little bit of a synopsis for the manga in case you've never read it. Musashi is a teenager living under demon rule. As children, he and his best friend made a promise to become the greatest warriors in the world and to overthrow demons. But life intervenes, and 5 years later, he finds himself about to become a miner. Yet, can Musashi truly be satisfied with a normal life? At age 10, best friends Musashi and Kojiro sat in silence as Kojiro's father spun tales of evil demons who preyed on the innocent and the warriors who defeated them. Practicing swordplay, the two swear an oath to become the strongest in the world. But as they grow up, Kojiro turns cynical, and Musashi comes to the realization that he can't overturn 150 years of demon rule to his own. He's being called a prodigy with a pickaxe, and he's almost ready to settle into a life of labor. Yet he can't shake the feeling that he has still a responsibility to act, and soon the injustice of the world will force his hand. What a synopsis, bro. I feel like I just read a book of the Bible. Okay. I'm allowed to make that joke. I'm a Christian. Okay. But, I mean, it sounds... Sorry, I inhaled too much when I laughed. It sounds somewhat interesting, but from what I've heard on the reviews, it's just not executed well whatsoever. But, that's okay. I mean, hopefully that all the fans like it when the final battle happens. Yay. Okay. Then in the same magazine that we just talked about, they announced that the final chapter of the Terminalia arc from Wistoria 1 and Sword, that manga, was published back in June, and that an epilogue is coming, it was already published, and the epilogue is coming on June 9th. Okay, wow, there's a lot of notes on my page right now. And so this is from the author of Don Machi, or Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, which a lot of people have been into. I never checked it out. I really have no desire to. Maybe I will one day. Maybe it'll end and it'll become the highest rated anime of all time for a week until Full Metal Alchemist pushes it out. But yeah, until then, I have no interest to read that. But they did give a little bit of a synopsis. To fulfill the promise he made to his childhood friend, Will Selfot enters the Regarden Magic Academy with the goal of making it to the top of the magical world. But there's just one problem. He doesn't know how to use magic. Will the seemingly ordinary sword in his hand be the key to unlock his true potential? Yeah, it sounds really original. But but it doesn't sound like bad or anything, and the reviews seem to be fine. If this ever gets an anime adaptation, maybe I'll check it out then. But currently, there's too much to read. Okay, moving on to, in the same magazine as those other two, there was another announcement that the Love and Lies author, Musawa, and Love and Lies was a romantic manga that released over the past few years, and that's now ending, so he's launching a new manga. And this is going to be called Kareshi Toki Doki Kanojo, or My Boyfriend Sometimes Is a Girlfriend. Oh man, I'm down already. But the manga launches in the magazine's next issue on June 9th, and they give a little synopsis for this as well. The romantic comedy manga story centers on Hodaka Akizuki, a 17-year-old high school student who falls in love with the school Madonna Chihaya Shishizaki. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Hodaka bravely confesses to Chihaya, and they have officially become a couple. But Hodaka actually keeps an unimaginable secret, even from his girlfriend, Chihaya, that he sometimes turns into a girlfriend. I'm down. I need to see how this turns out. I'm already hooked. I'm there. I need something to fill my manga void after girlfriend, and so this will work out fine. Then in the Weekly Young magazine, another one of Kodansha's magazines, My Home Hero announced that it was taking a 1-issue break and it will return on May 22nd. The anime is Middies, that's currently airing right now, but hey, maybe the manga is a little bit better. And speaking of the manga, hey, look at that. There's a synopsis for us. The manga centers on a salaryman who has a reliable wife and a daughter in university who can sometimes act a bit rebellious, but has a happy life in his own way, until one day he finds out that his daughter has been beaten, and thus begins his journey into a dangerous world to protect his family. It had a very interesting premise, and we talked about it when we talked about the anime that I was planning on watching this season. I just thought that the execution was kind of, yeah. All right, then we had Guido Amagakure's A Galaxy Next Door manga ending, and that is going to get an epilogue, and that is from the Good Afternoon magazine. They announced this, and the final chapter was published back on Saturday, and the epilogue is coming on June 7th. Now, this is actually one of those anime that's airing that apparently I haven't even heard of this, at least that I know of, you know, but it's currently airing right now, and I was like, oh, maybe I should check this out. I didn't have a chance to look at the reviews, but maybe if it's good, maybe I'll check it out, or maybe I'll read the manga. Who knows? But here's a little bit of synopsis of the manga/anime. Since his parents died, manga artist Eiichiro has barely scraped by. Forced to support his 2 younger siblings on just a middle school education, he doesn't even have time to learn how to use a computer, which forces him to keep wrestling with pen and paper. When art assistants quit to strike out on their own, on top of the juggling deadlines, family, and constant fear of losing his job, Eiichiro feels close to a total breakdown. But then a new assistant pops into Ichiro's life, and his prospects immediately start to brighten. She's an incredible artist, she always finishes on time, and she's beautiful to boot. But she also seems to know an awful lot about him, and soon she makes a confession that bends Ichiro's mind beyond the confines of Earth. Bum. So, I mean, it might be cute, and I definitely do remember, like, reading about this before the season started, but I haven't heard anything since. So I kind of forgot about it until like earlier today. But yeah, I mean, that's ending, and apparently the epilogue starting. So maybe it'll be really, really cool, and I should check that out. Then we had Ron Kamanohashi, Deranged Detective manga ending its part 1. There's a lot of manga ending this week. It's really weird. Like there was like, and I this is only like the major ones that people actually read. There are like tons of them that like people don't read, that I was like, oh my gosh, why are there so many manga ending like right now? Is there like a seasonal manga thing that I don't know about? Sorry about that. That was my brother calling me. But anyways, yeah. Speaking of which, there was a lot of manga that ended this week, which was really interesting. That usually doesn't happen. But so the first part ended on Sunday in Shonen Jump Plus, and the anime adaptation is coming later this October. And they do have a little bit of a synopsis here as well. This unusual duo brings the hidden truth into the light. Ron Kamanohashi, a private investigator with serious issues, and Totomaru Ishiki. Wow, Israel, you added 2 extra syllables to something that didn't need it. Okay. A pure-hearted but dim police detective team up to solve the most baffling mysteries. A thrilling detective story for a new generation from Akira Amano, creator of Reborn and Eld Live. Eld Live? I don't know how to pronounce this. I've never heard of it. Whatever. If this is your favorite manga, I'm sorry that part 1's ending, but hey, part 2's coming later, and there's an anime adaptation, so turn that frown upside down, Buttercup. Okay, then Uzaki-chan, which is the biggest manga that we've talked about so far. Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out has finally resumed. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, that Uzaki-chan was taking a break, and they said Take, who is the author, announced on Twitter that the manga will resume after 4 months on May 19th, which is my birthday, also the day that Fast X comes out in theaters. What a great day. There's so many things happening on my birthday. And then this is the statement that they said. I really wanted to finish the next 94th chapter as soon as possible so that you could read it, but I've reached burnout first. I've been trying to trick myself, but it's been getting a little overwhelming in various places of my body. I've been breaking down since last year. So I'm going to do a complete physical and mental maintenance once I finish work on volume 10. Let's aim for the 100th chapter. And yeah, that sounds good to me. I hope that you take a creative break. I mean, once you hit burnout, you might want to just trust yourself on that one. I mean, if you're in the middle of something, I mean, I guess when I say in the middle of something, like if you're in the middle of a chapter and you hit burnout, finish the chapter, release the chapter, and then be like, yo, guys, we're taking a break. But don't be like, yeah, we're just gonna finish the entire manga before like the burnout actually seeps into my soul and kills me. But you know. Yeah, take care of yourself mentally and physically. And I'm sure the fans would understand that. And then I've heard that the anime is okay, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But maybe it's actually fantastic. But all I know is that here is a little synopsis of it. University student Shinichi Sakurai is comfortable being an introverted loner and doesn't care what others think. Buxom underclassman Hana Uzaki doesn't understand this one bit. A tornado of joy, she's taking it upon herself to make him more social. Starting to enjoy her company, he'd concede that they're friends. Can it be possible to have this much fun with another person as he would by himself? Ooh, romance. Maybe not. Or maybe it's just a platonic friendship. Who knows? No, it's definitely supposed to be a rom-com. But then we get to the saddest news of the week. World's End Harem has ended. No, it says World's End Harem Afterward. What is this, a sequel manga? Anyways, this ended on May 7th. If you don't know what World's End Harem is, I'm not going to read you an official synopsis. I'm going to tell you myself because I can do a better job. So basically, there's this virus. I forget what it's called, but there's this virus that comes and only kills men. And so all the men die except for like 3 guys. And so those 3 guys are put in like hypostasis, like cryostasis, you know what I mean? And then they wake up and then all the girls are like, I will have your child. And so basically it's this dude like trying not to like get seduced by all these girls. And when I say seduced, that's the PG version. It's actually like I feel like Rob would like this. You know what I mean? That's all I'll say. But I tried to watch the anime. I watched the first episode. Wasn't really for me, but hey, a lot of people had a really good time enjoying that. All right, getting into the industry news of the week. Like we said we mentioned quite a bit throughout this episode already, the Arts Workers Japan, which is like I believe it's either a union or just like an official like group, but they've raised concern that voice actors will lose their jobs to AI. And so Crunchyroll did a really good article on this. And so I'm just going to read a piece from that article because they did a better job than me. Arts Workers Japan, an association of freelance voice actors and musicians, held a press conference in Tokyo on May 8th to convey their concerns that the development of AI could take away the art of expression and that many people in the industry could lose their jobs. The association sent a written request to the Agency for Cultural Affairs and other agencies requesting the establishment of laws to strengthen efforts to protect rights on the same day as the press conference. At the press conference, the association pointed out that it is highly unlikely that AI will create animation, films, and music without demonstrations by voice actors or actors, and that the jobs of staff involved in their production will be lost. For example, AI announcers are increasingly replacing human announcers to read the news on Japanese news programs. Megumi Morisaki, the association's president and an actor, argued advances in AI will further destabilize the way we work. She stressed the need for new provisions for the rights related to artists and for legislation allowing performers and others to seek appropriate compensation when AI creates a work based on their work. And yeah, it's terrifying to be like any type of artist, whether you're like an actual artist, or if you're a singer, or if you're an actor, or if you're an animator, whatever. Or even in Hollywood, if you're a writer right now, right? It's such a scary time because we live in this area where suddenly your job could just be taken over by a freaking computer. The whole point of art is that it's done by a human's perspective, and that a human can have a way to look at things that can then make something that can resonate with you or not. That's why art is so fascinating, because it's subjective, because it's one person, when art is done right, and when I say right, I don't mean like it's something that I like or whatever, but when art is done in the correct way, it's someone, almost voicing how they see the world, right? It's almost like an expression. It's an artistic expression of something that they're trying to speak out on, whether that's like something about like grief, or they're calling attention to something like political or in the world that we're currently living in, or if they're doing like an allegory for something like in their family or whatever, that's usually the case. And AI can't do that because AI doesn't fall under any of those definitions. And so we live in this era where like these studios want to do this because, oh yeah, it's cost saving, and we can do things faster, and then we can get a higher profit because of it, because we're not paying more people. And then it's like, but dog, it's gonna be worse. Like, don't do this. But they're not listening. So she's absolutely spitting. Megumi Morisaki, you are spitting. I'm in complete agreement, and I hope that we're talking about it next week, that hopefully like y'all came to some sort of agreement, because gosh, it is really scary, and especially in the anime community or the anime industry, where you just know that this industry, while I love them to death, or else I wouldn't be covering them. You just know that they would be the industry that would be like, yeah, let's do it, and they would just like go with AI before anyone else does it. And I mean, we've already seen that they've started doing it in some capacity already, to not very popular reactions, but they're going to continue doing it if the people who work for them don't make it clear that you can't do that. And so hopefully that's the case. Another thing that happened in the industry is that a One Piece animator declared that the finale, or the finale of the current One Piece arc, but everybody's just saying, oh, the finale, but it's the finale of the current arc that One Piece is in, that it will overshadow Bleach and Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer, the Entertainment District, Swordsmith Village arc is airing right now. And Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Part 2 is airing in the summer, so next anime season. And I believe One Piece is airing either in between or will be airing during Bleach. And basically, this is what this dude says. This is Henry Thurlow, and he said this on Twitter in a reply to somebody. The longest One Piece saga in the whole series is ending with, I promise you, the best animated episodes in the series. Bleach and Demon Slayer, etc., while great, I'm a fan of these, not a hater, are not showing their biggest climax battles. 2023 is One Piece's year, no doubt. That makes me very interested to hear. That makes me super excited to hear this. Because obviously we've seen, like, just in Thousand Year Blood War and just in the Entertainment District arc of Demon Slayer, we've seen how insane this animation can get. And suddenly they're like, yeah, bro, trust. Those won't even touch One Piece, bro. Don't even worry about it. I'm like, shoot, I might have to, like, stop everything I'm doing, cancel the Otaku experience until I catch up on One Piece, cancel my job, cancel everything, live homelessly with only Shonen Jump on my phone, and just read One Piece. That way I can catch up and watch these episodes when they air, because I need to see this, bro. Oh man, that makes me very, very exciting. It's some big words, so if those don't live up to it, everybody gonna be like, but if it does, that is going to be insane. And then some VTuber news this week. HoloLive's Laplus Darkness is now going on a break due to contracting COVID-19. So she and HoloLive announced last week that she had tested positive after displaying symptoms. And I even heard that, like, I don't watch Darkness, but you know, we talk about VSojo on here every now and then, or, you know, the VTuber industry. This is HoloLive, not VSojo. But we heard that in her most recent stream, I believe it's her most recent stream or one of her recent streams, she was about to go to the doctor to get tested. And she had like a raspy voice that's different from what she usually has. And it was like, we can hear it, dog. And so hopefully she gets better. Hopefully, you know, it's like a normal, you know, COVID thing where it's like, hey, in like a week to 2 weeks, you be chilling, you be right back up on your feet. And I hope that all goes well, and that hopefully this doesn't lead to anything worse. And hopefully she can make a speedy and safe recovery. Even though I don't watch her, I hope that she does well, and that you know, that she can return for her fans. All right, it's that time of the show where we get to my favorite part of the show, the Goofy Woofy anime community. Quack time! All right, so the first thing we have is a lot of One Piece news this week. But so the One Piece creator, Eiichiro Oda, joked about creating a two-piece sequel once One Piece ends. And he was like, maybe when it ends, we'll do two-piece. And everybody laughed because obviously One Piece isn't even over and it's been doing this for like 25 years now. So maybe... maybe, bro, could you imagine like One Piece finally ends and then he's like, all right, Two Piece starts in 2 weeks, get ready, boys. But no, I think he did mention though that he would be interested in doing like a short like spin-off manga, maybe a couple years or a few years after One Piece, but I wouldn't hold him to that. I assume that once One Piece ends, that is like, he gonna be like, all right, that's it, I'm gonna step away. Thank you. I'll be a consultant on the anime, on the live action adaptation, but I ain't writing nothing else. And he's earned that. He's earned that. Go take your check, bro. Take your residuals. Go enjoy your life. You did great. And then another thing we had this week was someone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! A Yu-Gi-Oh! Player ended up accidentally like recreating a Rent-A-Girlfriend situation. Okay, it's not as like depressing as it sounds, but so this comes from Delty the 73rd on Twitter, and they said, and they have an image of it. This guy wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So bad, he paid for a rental girl service and asked the girl to come play Yu-Gi-Oh! With him and kept requesting the same girl to come every time. After several times, she showed up with her own self-built deck. And then later on, it might have been later on, or it may have been like they just checked on the account like after that tweet blew up, but they looked at the account that tweeted that of the guy who was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With the Rent-A-Girlfriend, and they found that the same girl, or we believe it's the same girl, was actually pregnant. And so, yay, they're having a kid. That's so cute. I love seeing these hilarious situations end up being something cute. I would say, like, since that's like the funniest story, I wouldn't want to give that the certified goofy moment of the week, but it's not like Goofy. I don't want to like insult them. That's the cute moment of the week. Okay. Then we have the Bleach mangaka, or Kubo, once declared that he hated One Piece's director or creator Oda. And so a lot of people, that's like what all the headlines are saying, is like, oh my gosh, Bleach creator Kubo hates Oda from One Piece. What's gonna happen? But if you like look into this, it's actually very funny. So Kubo was told by one of his editors that Bleach should be more like One Piece. And then on a radio show, Kubo brought this up, to which he jokingly said, I hate Oda. And then everyone, including Oda, thought it was funny. We even saw Oda's response to this. He thought it was hilarious. Everybody thought it was funny. Quit trying to make drama out of nothing. You guys, you're the certified goofy moment of the week. But moving on to another thing is Sword Art Online. Yay! So some Sword Art Online fans. It's like 7 or 8 girls, bro, and they like brought Asuna to life. Like it's like every single outfit that Asuna ever wore ever in the anime. Yeah, there's 6 of them here. So they have, obviously, from the first arc in Eiichiro, before she becomes a part of the Knights of the Blood, we have Knights of the Blood, we have the Alfheim arc, we have what she wears in Alfheim after the original Alfheim arc, we have Ordinal Scale, and then we have Stacia. These girls are great. These girls look awesome. Fantastic. Not a certified goofy moment. I'm just a proud SAO fan. And then the last thing in the Goofy Woofy anime community this week is, okay, spoiler alert. This is the certified goofy moment of the week. Okay, so so take a look at this picture of SpongeBob. Okay, now take a look at this picture of Light Yagami. See any resemblance? No? Okay, well, you should, because everybody is now bringing up the fact that SpongeBob and Light Yagami have matching outfits, and now no one can unsee it. At first I looked at it, I was like, wait, because all the headlines said is that like anime fans can't unsee the resemblance between Light and SpongeBob. And I said, what? Then they were like talking about the suits, and I was like, oh. And I had a good giggle for a second. So this is the certified goofy moment of the week. This is hilarious to me. Anime community at its finest, and I'll never be able to unsee that. All right, guys, and moving into the last thing of the week, we have the audience rankings for this week's anime episode, starting with the anime trending ranking. And so at number 1, we have, for the second week in a row, Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury Season 2. And then at number 2, we have Oshinoko, which went up 1 spot from number 3. At number 3, which went down 1 spot, is Hell's Paradise. So Oshinoko and Hell's Paradise switched spots, and I believe that's the first time Oshinoko went up to number 2. I could be wrong, but I want to say. Then at number 4, we have Skip and Loafer, which went up 1 spot from number 5. We have My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, which went up 2 spots from number 7. We have at number 6, Tengoku Daimakyo, which went down 2 spots from number 4. At number 7, which went up from 1 spot to number 8, we have Insomniacs After School. At number 8, which went down 2 spots from number 6, we have Demon Slayer, Swordsmith Village arc. At number 9, which is 2 weeks now at number 9, is The Dangers in My Heart. And then at number 10, which is a re-entry, we have Mashal, Magic, and Muscles. So not too big of a surprise from what we've been seeing lately. Like I believe all of this is stuff that's been in here, for a while now. Then going over to the Anime Corner rankings at number 1, which is it's a little bit of a different list. So at number 1, we have Demon Slayer Swordsmith's Village arc, which is at number 2, which was at number 8 on the Anime Trending ranking. At number 2, which was at number 2 on the Anime Trending ranking, is Oshinoko, and that went down 2 spots that went down 1 spot from rank 1. Demon Slayer got 9.36% of the vote, and Oshinoko got 9.02% of the vote. Vinland Saga went up 2 spots from rank 5, and that has 7.14% of the vote. Hell's Paradise went down 2 spots from rank 2 to spot 4, and that got 6.89% of the vote. Kamikatsu, Working for God in a Godless World, went up 1 spot from rank 6 to rank 5, and that got 6.53% of the vote. Loving Yamada at level 999 went up 1 spot from rank 7 to rank 6, and that got 6.08% of the vote. Mashle Magic and Muscles went down 3 spots from rank 4 to rank 7, and I got 5.65% of the vote. Skip and Loafer went up 8 spots from rank 16, so popped back into the top 10. Or I actually don't remember if this has been in the anime corner ranking before. It's been in the anime trending, but I don't know if this is if this is going back into the top 10 or if this is its first time there. But anyways, good for them. It went up 8 spots from rank 16 to rank 8. And it got 5.05% of the vote. And then at number 9, we have Dead Mount Death Play, which went up 9 spots from number 18, which got 4.07% of the vote. And then at number 10, we have The Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, which went up 1 spot from rank 11 and got 4.03% of the vote. And there you guys have it for the anime audience ranking for this week. And guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Otaku Experience. Once again, I just want to shout out Lana Ewan's Burnetwork Reviews. Her and Alan are doing great work, and so please check out those. I also want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this week's episode of the Otaku Experience, me. Go check out my channel. And you can also come back to the Burnetwork today, tomorrow, every day of the week. We always have new content coming out on the Burnetwork, including shows like Robservations, Ladies of the PGS, the member chat, I believe, is happening this week. Midnight Musings, which is happening on Friday night. We have Que Pasa PGS, which is our Spanish show on the Burnetwork. We have Let's Get Physical Media. And then we have a bunch of other stuff that everyone's doing. We have Lana Ewan. We have Architects of Imagination. And of course, we have the Otaku Experience. And, with the rate at which the Burnetwork is growing, there's probably like 25 other shows that I forgot to mention. But that's a great thing because, this community is just getting so much bigger and it's such a great community. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of the Otaku Experience, if you've made it this far. And, of course, I will see you guys next week.